It all started with you. I built all of the fence from that point all the way down the yard and around the corner for less than half of the price that I built this little tiny section of ugly looking privacy fence, and 1/4 of the price of what a chain link fence would cost. Actually, less than 1/4 of the price of what a chain link fence would cost, even if I did all of the work myself. Now in a moment, we're going to take a closer look at what I built, but let's be very clear. I built around 240 linear feet of this new fence with a giant 10-foot gate for less than half of the cost of 60 linear feet of wood privacy fence. And if I went chain link, my cost for the chain link fence, just the materials alone to do what you see in this video, was over $11,000 with my contractor discounts and me pulling every favor I possibly could. The fence that I put in today's video costs about 1/5 installed cost as just the material cost of chain link alone. But let's take a closer look at what this actually is. All right, let's take a look at what we're going to be building today. There's nothing light duty about this fence. It's designed to keep you in and from digging underneath. Let's go on the outside and take a look at it. So it's got heavy duty wire reinforced both upper and lower. Dual wires on the bottom, single gauge wire on the top for digging paws that want to go through. Let's check it out on the outside and see what she looks like. Now my goal with this fence was keep the dogs in and eyeballs out. I wanted privacy. If you're not into the look of black, you can make that screen color whatever you want. They have green as available, but I just thought that the black looked really good offset against the plants and vegetation. But from the outside, you can't see through it, and I think it just has a good sharp look to it. So let's build it. Hey kitty. This one makes it go backwards, that pedal, and that pedal makes it go forward. Okay, no joy riding. It's not a toy. We have a pretty straightforward area that we're going to be fencing in today. It's going to be basically a rectangle, and the cost of materials for galvanized chain link fence to do this area was $10,883, and that was with the 10% discount that they gave me. The cost of materials that we're going to be doing this for was less than 1/5 of that price, and the fence that we're going to be installing will be looking like that fence right there. And it is not a cloth fence. It is actually wire reinforced, Frankie?
Yep.
It's double wire reinforced, and it's embedded a foot below ground, so nothing is getting in, or if it's inside already, nothing is getting out by digging out underneath it. So we're just gonna show you what we do and take you guys along for the ride. Let's get the party started. The materials we're going to be using are 4x4 ground pressure rated timber posts. These are 10 foot long. They are rated to go below grade, and then the wire itself is going to be a combination of this 2x4 inch gauge, that's the size of the holes in it, welded wire, that's what it's called, galvanized welded wire, and then we're going to use some poultry netting on the bottom as well, and then black screen meshing over the top of that so that it looks a little tidier and a little neater. I got a question for you, Frankie. Compared to installing a typical chain link fence, how much more work is this? Would you say it's 10%? Yes, 20%, double?
I don't think it's double, but it's a little bit more, just because we ain't got the full length of fencing. So we got to do the fencing like twice, basically.
And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going 10 foot on center, so every post we're going to be putting at 10 foot runs. Now that increased the price of our materials considerably, but we waited against the time savings because this process does take a little bit longer, I consider it, than a galvanized one. Now if these guys were doing it, they're not going to be double wiring it like we did. You don't need to double wire it. We double wire it because we got some pretty aggressive dogs that want to get out and eat my cat right there, Pumpkin. So Bear and Pumpkin don't get along. So the first thing we're gonna do right now is lay everything out. All right, well, the digging isn't really hard or intense, but since we've got so many holes to do, it just makes sense to use something like this to help us out. And we're gonna go 3 foot below grade, right, Frankie? Yeah, that hole kind of sucked.
That'll work.
It'll work?
Yeah, I'll just knock it around with this shovel.
Yeah, but the idea is for you to not to be knocking.
Right, but the one ain't so bad.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna back up and do it the other way. Things went from good to bad fast, and I'm talking about the soil. We had great soil up on top. A nice non-organic structural soil, and then as soon as we got a little lower, just a few feet lower in the grade, everything changed. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna switch machines up here just because that ASV RT40 on this little bit of a slope here is struggling with all this muck and stuff. I don't know if the cast loader is gonna fare any better, but we're gonna give it a shot, and I can drive that cast loader just about anywhere without damaging turf. So we'll just see how it does. Let's do a test run on this very first hole, and we'll know. We'll do these first 2 holes, and by that time we'll know if we've got to move on to the Kubota.
Right.
But the Kubota will tear everything up. I mean, the Kubota will, it's like a freaking bull in a china shop. Nothing's going to be left alive after that thing comes in. So hopefully the cast works. Now, to me, this is the part of the job that just wears a guy out the fastest. Post-hole digging. And I'm talking about doing it the old-fashioned way with a post-hole digger and just shoving it down using your hands. If you have some way of getting an automatic post-hole digger, whether it's on a piece of equipment or some other way of doing it other than the old-fashioned way, please do so. Because save your energy so that you can use it for the other parts of the project. So once we get the posts in the ground, what Frankie does is he's got a post level. He just levels them front to back, left to right, pretty straightforward, packs them in, and then we're gonna actually throw a bag of concrete in each hole dry. Right, Frankfurter? Yep. We've got our good luck cat here. No cats were harmed in the making of this video, yet. No, I would never hurt you, kitty. You're my favorite kitties. One of the things I love is these cast loaders. So as you watch, you'll see me walk by all my other equipment, and I always tend to go grab this thing before anything else. And it's just because it does no turf damage. I'm not creating piles of mud everywhere I go behind it. For stuff like this, we don't pre-mix the concrete. It'll harden up on its own, trust me. If you don't think it will, just plop a bag of concrete outside and let it sit for a couple weeks, and once it goes through a rainstorm or two, try opening it up and seeing what you got inside. You got a hard mess. Now here's my one caveat to that. Don't do this on a customer site. So you gotta understand, when I do things in my own home, I always experiment. I always try some new way, shape, or form to do something. Just because I need to learn how well something will work, but I'm not willing to experiment on a customer site. I am willing to experiment at my own home. So if something screws up, I gotta live with the results. I can't put that onto a customer. So when you watch my videos, you'll see that I do things on my own property way different than I do it at somebody else's site. Black bean soup. That's what we got. The water's coming up. So we're going to just be careful of the hydraulics, will ya? We're gonna be just adding a lot more concrete in there. Hey kitty. This one makes it go backwards, that pedal, and that pedal makes it go forward, okay? Your throttle's up there, right here, kitty. That's your throttle. And then your controls for your boom to make it go up, down, in, and out, and tilt the bucket are up on your handle. No joyriding. With that water coming up into our holes on the lower fence, we changed course. So instead of just doing one bag of concrete per post, we used 3 bags or 180 pounds of concrete per post. And even though these are ground rated, meaning these are green treated timbers designed to go below grade, I've actually seen builders use these for the foundations of homes, like they built homes on top of these. We still wanted to put that extra concrete in to completely encapsulate the posts and protect them from rot. Frankie, hour? Maybe an hour. Look at that. That concrete just sucked all that water up. This was the really bad hole. Suck the chrome off a trailer hitch. Guys, well, we're switching our plans up because we've got nasty conditions where we're putting our fence posts, and just dunking them in that muck and mud and water is just gonna rot them out. So we're gonna encase them in concrete. So I just got twice the amount of concrete that I had before. So let's go get her unloaded and get her brought out to where it's gotta go. Now the fence you see us build today is probably going to be way more fence than you need for your own needs, unless you also have 2 German Shepherds that want to get out and eat your cat and everybody else's cat that happens to be in the neighborhood. Now, we went extra tall with the fence, plus we brought it in, folded it down and over, and doubled up the wire gauge. Our cost roughly to put this fence in the way you see it runs about $100 per 10-foot section. Now, if we had been more thrifty though, we could have easily gotten that cost down to around $50 per every 10-foot section. That's the installed price, with us doing the labor. Of course it rains and we have the worst soil possible. Our holes are just full of water. Every hole. That hole shouldn't be full of water. That hole's got water on it. You know, hindsight, Frankie, maybe we should have went with steel posts, huh?
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, but the steel posts would have rotted. I mean,
Right.
would have rusted, right?
Right.
So,
Well, not really. They come with a coating on it.
so you think we would have been smarter off going with steel posts?
I don't know. Not about much concrete we're putting in. Probably not. This is worse.
I mean,
Pretty much pulling it right up. I mean, the water ain't that high. It's just I pushed it that high because of the concrete. You know.
yeah.
See, you know.
Yeah. And this soil, I wouldn't call this, you know, we had a technical term for soil like this. It was called loam, but this isn't. This is thick, heavy.
That's a kind of clay.
This is just
a
like,
binder.
yeah, this is heavy clay.
See, when I pull it out, it's gray. You know, some of it like here. You know.
The gray clay is non-organic, so that's like the stuff you use to line ponds with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when we're digging natural ponds, that's what we look for, is the gray clay, because we know that that's going to hold water.
Right.
So that's why we've got water, because this water shouldn't be this high, because the swamp is lower over there by quite a bit.
Right.
And the water's up in these
You
holes.
can't see no water even. You know. Wow. No, not really. So it just.
Yeah, that's it. Man, that's the worst stuff right there. Because there's nothing, it's not good for anything.
No.
Good, I mean, great if you dry it out and use it on a garden or something, but
Even that.
it's going to suffocate the vegetation.
Yeah.
Because it's so heavy, dense clay.
Yeah.
But we couldn't have ordered worse materials to dig in. Oh well.
Oh, I've got one more leg left.
Make the best out of what you got, right, Frankfurter? Yeah. Hi, kitty. Oh, you good kitties. Oh, you good kitties. Yeah, you never know what you're going to run into. All you can do is the best you can. Try to make the best decisions you can and work with what you got and say a little prayer once in a while. All right, back to the time lapse. Let's keep this going. Hey Frankie, did you forget where I showed you where the key to the loader was?
No. These are short runs.
Uh-huh. Frankie is a beast. He can't wait. I'm like, Frankie, let me just run in and grab the camera and come back. Nope, he's out hand loading stuff up. Oh, let's give him a hand, eh? Alright guys, I'm going to jump in here. I just want to show you a couple of the details of where we're at. The camera was off for a little bit. I apologize for that. So here's the gate system. This is a full 10-foot gate, and to secure the gate I've got two big dogs that will bounce and jump and push and shove. And so what we've done is we've got a ground peg right here. That'll slide in, that'll lock in place, but that'll get filled with rocks and sand eventually, so that's going to be great in the beginning, but I don't see that being great long term. So what we did is the old style barricade system. Just put some latches in and then got a big old board going across there, and then a second one right up here, because without that the gate can go like this and separate, and then them dogs, trust me, my dogs are not easy on anything. Now the fence itself has been rolled back, and then we filled over the top with rocks, so if they decide they're going to try to dig their way out, they're going to be digging through rocks. And then about 18 inches of actual wire is underneath the entire thing. Now for privacy, what we did was we extended the black around to the edge. That way from the street side we have privacy in our yard, and then down here we've just laid it down just on the bottom, so if we've got tons of rabbits here. If there's a rabbit over there, it doesn't drive the dogs nuts and they go crazy. At least it's out of sight, out of mind, without totally encapsulating us into a black screen. And of course I put the pretty side out. And then we came in and transplanted all of the arborvitaes, because the deer need something to eat too. So put them on the outside of the fence to break that up. But I think I like the way this black fence looks, but maybe you guys can tell me if you like it or if you'd rather not see that. You won't hurt my feelers. They're pretty thick. I'm on social media, so if you've got a better suggestion, well, you can tell me what your better suggestion is, but at this point I'm not doing it because it's already done. But I sure as heck like this black fence a lot better than the privacy fence that you can buy that's already set up. Those are terrible. That's the reason why I didn't do it. I didn't want to see that all the way around. It looks pretty good. And now you can't peek into my yard and see what we're doing. We got a little bit of privacy, but I was able to customize it so that it didn't feel like we were wrapping in our own cage. But that's it for this video. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed going along for the ride. It was, as always, awesome having you guys here while Frankie and I tackle new projects, and that's the fun thing. You know what? We're not perfect, but we sure do try to do a good job, and as we go along, we learn things, and I like to share them with you guys. And a lot of the things that I learn, I actually learn from you guys, because I read your comments and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I want to say thank you to you guys, because you guys have helped make me a way better contractor. It goes a long way. So I do appreciate all of your input, and I hope along the way you guys pick something up for yourselves as well. That's it for this one. God bless. Go get him, you guys, and we'll catch you on another one. Stay safe out there.